Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the summary for the day of 991 for the 10th of October. We're going to start off the situation report with the Kursk front. Before that, there was major drone strike. I missed it, missed the yesterday's I should have reported yesterday. Maybe I missed it. I'm not sure. I'm confused. Actually, so Ukraine launched 93 drones estimated across Russia, and a majority of them actually heading towards Moscow. So that actually caused all the airports in Moscow to be suspended uh, temporarily during the time of the attack. Then after that, yeah, most of the drones got shot down. There is some hits, but seems to be hitting some civilian vehicles and something like that. Over at the Kursk front, the Russian forces continue to make to do their counter-offensive. There's nothing over at Novi Put itself. The Russians are still attacking in this region in the western flank. While Russian forces attack at Novo Ivanovka, Leonidovka, Darino, and Nikolaevo Darino. And Ukrainian forces are counter-attacking at Zelenishai, Novo Ivanivka, and Darino. And there is some frontline changes over at Darino. This is actually based on the latest geolocation with Russian forces geolocated inside of Darino. And this is actually one of the latest information. This is not part of yesterday's stuff. It's today's information. And with this geolocation, this actually means that the Russian forces have at least advanced down these 2-3 lines and are going through Darino itself. And this caused invalidation of Ukrainian claims. So this is the attack that is captured by as per this geolocation. So which means that Darino might be on the verge of capture, unless we are talking about there is this entire chunk here which could also be part of Darino. Then maybe not so fast. So anyway, we shall continue to monitor the situation over in the Kursk front. In the northern flank, there is fighting also being reported around here. Ukrainian forces are counterattacking over at Novaya Sorokina. However, there is Russian forces geolocated at Olovka and just west of Novaya Sorokina. I have not mapped the front line change around here because this is a bit complicated. I'm not sure where I should map this from, because if you look at the front line, this is the current Russian claims. And this is the Ukrainian claims. And you can see that this geolocation basically happens in the middle of nowhere, in a way. And I'm not particularly sure where the Russians actually advance from. Is it from the west, east, or from the north? I will make a judgment call later. I will see how this go. But tentatively, this definitely signals frontline changes. There's a good chance that the Russian forces may have captured the entire area here. This entire area might be all taken by the Russian forces, given the geolocation. But tentatively, I don't want to commit to this just yet. So check out the frontline changes report, the next video. I might do the commitment there, because we haven't heard anything about Krymianskoye for a long time. So no, that is the reason. But however, Ukraine forces were geolocated west of Krymianskoye, southeast of Krymianskoye, east of Kalinov. So no, there were Ukrainian forces here previously, but now the Russians are here at Olovka, which is quite a distance away. So this is a bit more complicated. I can't be sure. So I don't want to just jump to conclusions for now. I will see whether I have any more information to help me map this. Over in the southern flank, there is Russian forces attacking Blakovo, but that's about it. We move into the Kharkiv front. At the Kharkiv front, the Russian forces are harassing the Ukrainian forces at Kazacha Lopan, Mali Prokodi, Staritsia, and this is what is called Boskove, and Russians are also attacking at Voschansk. Geolocation of Russian forces in Staritsia doesn't change front lines, basically confirm Russian presence in Staritsia itself. As you can see, this definitely is stretching the Ukrainian forces in as much as possible, with Kazacha Lopan around 67 kilometers away from Boshkovo Boshkove, which is actually pretty far. So we shall see how this develop. There is shelling reported over at Boschova as well, south of Slobozanske. So there's some shelling around in this area, south of Lipsy. But that's all. Tentatively doesn't feel like a major offensive just yet. It feels like the Russians are feeling the Ukrainian defense and see how it's being set up and how fast the Ukrainians can reinforce, resupply, and whatnot. Over in the Kupiansk front, at the Kupiansk front, the fighting is reported around Kupiansk, with fighting reported in the region of Kindrashivka, Kupiansk, Petropavlivka, and Prodoli. So we shall monitor. This area here is pretty foggy. The fog of war is very thick. We do not know exactly where the front line is right now. And the geography over here is also very complicated. You can see that forests, village roads, and then plantations, buildings, for rivers. It's all mixed up in a very complicated way. There is no structure to it, so it's going to be pretty complicated. We shall see how this continue to work out. Over in the Pischane front, at the Pischane front, Russian forces are attacking Glushkivka as well as Zarizove and Bohoslavka. There is in the latest Russian Defense Ministry report, they have announced the capture of Kolesnikivka. So the rest of today's report is not inside this mapping from the Russian Defense Ministry. I only went through to look for this kind of announcement. Otherwise, because that was actually tomorrow's report. But anyway, the announcement for the capture of Kolesnikivka, we actually do not have the mapping to back it up yet for now. Because there is still some chunk of Kolesnikivka that is actually not confirmed to be captured by the Russian forces just yet. So we shall continue to monitor the situation in this sector. We move further south. Over in the Svetove front, in the northern flank, we only have fighting reported towards Zelenehai. So this is Svetove, and this is actually in the direction of towards Borova, so which is actually protecting the other crossing at Horokovatka. So this is so there's fighting at Zelenehai. So move further south. There's nothing over the southern flank. Over in the Kremina front. At the Kremina front, this is Kremina, and this Liman. So and this is the Yin Yang. Then the fighting is reported over at Terni, which there is frontline changes around there with Russian forces making some progress. Fighting is reported at Torske as well. Pretty quiet, but at Terni the Russians are making advance again. The advance at Terni is really slow, but they are making progress. So definitely way faster than Marinka or the Battle of Marinka and some other very can't remember all the names. Yeah, the war have gotten too long, man. There are some very horrendous wars that Pervomaisky, like some of these horrible places that never ends the battle. But eventually the Russians still captured it. Over the Sivers front, fighting is reported at Serbianka, Verkhan-Okanyamske as well as Sivers. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry reported about the fighting at Verkhan-Okanyamske, so I'm not exactly sure where the attack coming from. I'm always assuming it's coming from the east, from this direction. So let's see whether the Russians can make any kind of progress. Over in the Bakhmut front, in the northern flank of the Bakhmut front, there's fighting reported at Zalinianske, Novomarkove, Chasivya, and in the southern side there is Stuposhki. Otherwise, further south there's nothing. At Stuposhki, there was Ukrainian forces geolocated. But however, this is actually where they were previously attacking, so this doesn't cause frontline changes. So there is still, in my opinion, the battle at Bakhmut is very skirmishy. It's a very attritional type of war. It's not active offensive, so it's going to be really draggy. At the New York front is pretty much the similar situation. Over in the Toretsk region, fighting is being reported in Toretsk as well as to Skibinivka. There is some frontline changes reported based on the Ukrainian mapping, with Russian forces capturing the southeast of this industrial facility. The Russian forces are closing in on this industrial facility where the Ukrainians possibly use it as a stronghold tentatively. But it looks really dirty. You see, it's so dark, it's so black, it's so dark. So yeah, not very healthy to stay there. And there is some geolocation of some fighting. This is geolocation of the front line. Definitely the fighting is around this sector. This is where the fighting is currently happening. Ukrainian forces are actually around here. And there's another geolocation, it's further up north, which is an FPV drone strike on a Ukrainian vehicle, definitely showing that the Ukrainians are not giving up Torex. They are putting the effort and equipment to defend the city. So moving away from the New York front, we go into the northern flank of the Pokrovsk front. At the Pokrovsk front, fighting is reported over in Vozdvizhenka, Novotoretsk, and Mario-Lubivka. Nothing special about these reports. Over in the Pokrovsk sector, at the Pokrovsk sector, fighting is reported or Promin, Minokhrad, Krutia, as well as Sukia. So tentatively, it looks like a very big arrow move across the front line, but yeah, very slow, very skirmishy, very standoffish. I think tentatively this stalemate is going to go on for quite some time, as the Ukrainians have a twin city to really link up into a spectacle. So a spectacle of defensive prowess. So yeah, good save. And over in the Selidove region, there is fighting reported in the north of Selidove, with the Russian forces now trying to push westward from in the north of Selidove. Fighting is reported at Khorokhovka, Petrivka, as well as Novo-Oleksievka. So tentatively, the Russians are continuing to push. Mainly is down this highway as well as down this railway line. There is of course another this valley, gully region, river system, stream system that the Russians may also want to capture. So we shall continue to monitor the situation in this sector. Moving further south, in this sector is the I'm not sure what to call this sector now. What is this sector now, man? Okay, north of Kurakove sector. This Kurakove north of Kurakove. Forget it. It's just somewhere, somewhere where it is. North of Kurakove. Russian forces are attacking Zoria, Novodimitrivka, Sonsivka. There is seemingly reports of fighting at Shevchenko. It could potentially be just shelling, but because the front line is getting so close, I have decided to start listing this as fighting. Fighting is also reported over at Novoselidivka, Ilinka, and the Russian Defense Ministry announced the capture of Voshchenka. This is on the 10th, in the day before. So yesterday's report, they have announced the capture of Voshchenka. So this is the current situation in this north of Kurakove sector. As the Russian forces potentially could close up this salient and all the way to Staritany, which actually will close the entire gap. The gap from the front line all the way to the water body is 4 kilometers, so it's getting smaller. Previously, the last time we measured, this was like 6 kilometers. So things are moving away. So we shall see how this goes. So Voshchenka is actually in the rear position. This is actually confirmed to be have captured according to our mapping information. So yeah, Russian Defense Ministry announced that. Over in the south of Kurakove, or around Kurakove itself, fighting is reported in the region of Kurakove, around Maximilianivka and towards Dane, with geolocation of Russian forces showing that their fingers are going to reach Dane. So getting very, very close. So this geolocation is very conservative. We are just listing just this tree line where the Russians have captured. So, and they are behind the front line or behind the trench line that is protecting Kurakove, or in the front. Yeah, not sure. Is this front? Yeah, it's the front. So we shall see how this goes. Going over in the Konstantinivka region, there is frontline changes north of Konstantinivka, with Russian forces capturing grounds in the east of Antonivka. Fighting is also reported at Antonivka and Katerinivka. So the fighting around here continues, and it looks like the Russian claims of the full capture of Yekaterinivka might not actually be true. So we shall see how this continue to play out. Over in the Uspenivka front, in the Uspenivka region, Russian forces are fighting at Bohov-Yevlenka, Trudove, towards Uspenivka, towards Konstantinopolsk, as well as Maximivka. There is frontline changes over in the south of Konstantinopolsk, where the front line, where the Russian forces actually straighten the front line around here with the capture of the rest of the three lines over this sector. So so that's it. There is not very major frontline change per se in this sector as per the previous updates where a lot of frontline changes happen. But I believe it's just a fog of war. I believe things will when the information drop, it's going to be shocking again until there is a firm Ukrainian defense line that can be depended on. So further west, over in the Velika Novosilka sector, Russian forces are fighting over at Rozdone region and also at Makarivka. There is some rumors about Russian capture of Makarivka, but this is not confirmed, and shellings reported at Zelenopole as well as Temerivka. Otherwise, this is the situation at the Velika Novosilka region. And moving on to the Zaporizhia front, fighting is mainly reported in 3 different locations, over in Malatomachka, Novoandrievka, as well as Petikaki. So these are 3 locations, and again, this seems like a deliberate attempt to stretch the Ukrainian forces across 35 kilometers. So we shall continue to wait. Tentatively, there is no Zaporizhia offensive from the Russians just yet. And there is also information saying that the Russians, the weather is getting cooler. So maybe I will start to cover a bit of weather reports in the next few days to kind of get some kind of sensing, when winter is going to drop. And over in the Kherson front, at the Kherson front, Ukrainian Defense Ministry talked about the Dnipropetrovsk direction, where the Russians potentially may be attacking around this sector. And there's shelling reported at Ohivka as well as Dnipropetrovsk. Otherwise, that's all in the quiet Kherson front. Kherson front. Kursun front. Anyway, thank you for watching. Press the like button, subscribe. I'm so sleepy right now. I haven't slept since the DPA open mic, so I'm so tired. And check out the DPA open mic. The link is over here. We have a great session, and I'll see you guys in the next update.